OU linebacker Owen Heineke is in court today. We are live from the courthouse with the latest on if he will be eligible to play in the upcoming season. And with Oklahoma daycares set to lose COVID-era funding, what impact this will have on Oklahoma families.
And the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms returns for our area on Friday. Find out the latest timing and hazards. This is OU Nightly.
The verdict is in on Owen Heineke's eligibility for next season. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Kevin Daniel.
And I'm Kariana Gamboa. We begin tonight with team coverage at the Cleveland County Courthouse, where a judge has decided to allow OU linebacker Owen Heineke to play in the upcoming season. OU Nightly reporters Reagan Garvin and Hunter Cornejo are outside the courthouse with the latest on the decision.
Kevin, Kariana, we're here at the courthouse where after almost 8 hours, Judge Balkman decided that the clock for Owen Heineke has not run out.
Yeah, Owen Heineke sued the NCAA for an extra year of eligibility after playing just 3 years of football at Oklahoma and a year of lacrosse, 15 minutes to be exact, at Ohio State.
His attorney, Mary Quinn Cooper, spoke to Heineke's character and also said that the NCAA needs to do better.
One of the things Coach Venables said about him is he's the most selfless player he's ever coached. So think about Coach Venables saying that about a player. Their whole organization exists to serve student athletes, and the way they treated Owen Heineke is not really that unique. So they need to do a better job.
These last 4 months have been a total whirlwind for Owen Heineke as he found out just after the LSU game from linebacker coach Nate Dreiling that he was going to be out of eligibility. He submitted the petition, it got denied, and he even had to go through the entire NFL draft process with the Senior Bowl and the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. Now he's glad for it all to be behind him.
I mean, my heart was racing probably harder than it is before a game when I was up on the witness stand. So pretty crazy day, pretty surreal to, have the case taken this far, but just, super grateful for it all. I'm excited. I'm kind of still not over the decision yet, so we're just really excited.
And Oklahoma getting Owen Heineke back for their defense is huge. They already had Kip Lewis returning. They even added Cole Sullivan from Michigan this offseason. Now they get Owen Heineke back, a guy who was playing some of the best defense for the Sooners in those final 4 weeks of the season. So that can't be understated.
Heineke is now eligible for the 26-27 season and says that he plans to be in attendance for Saturday's spring game. Kevin, Kariana.
Thanks, Reagan and Hunter. You can see the full OU football team this Saturday at the spring game. We'll have more info on that game coming up in sports.
Now, Kevin, it was nice and warm today, and we finally had a break from that severe weather.
That's right, Kariana. But how long is this break going to last? OU Nightly meteorologist Hunter Brittingham is in studio. Hunter, what can you tell us?
Kevin and Kariana, that's right. We are going to be seeing a break from that severe weather today. The threat that we saw yesterday is pushed off into the Midwest and the Northeast respectively, and we are sitting under that sunny sky. But we did not see much in the way of precipitation yesterday. Little to none at all right here in Norman. Our friends down to the south in Ardman saw over 3 inches. Up in Miami, they saw almost 1.5 inches. So we really missed out on that rain. But we do have another chance on the table for your day on Friday. Our partners over at the Storm Prediction Center have our area under a slight risk, a level 2 out of 5 here in Norman, and even an enhanced risk for Oklahoma City. So no matter what risk you're in, you definitely want to stay weather aware for tomorrow, because we do have all hazards on the table. So coming up, I'm going to dive into those hazards and threats, as well as talk about the upcoming cold front.
Thanks, Hunter. Norman police responded to an incident earlier today involving a pedestrian near campus. OU Nightly's Gracie Stubblefield is live in studio with more.
An unnamed person was struck by a vehicle near the intersection between 12th and Lindsay Street. The incident occurred around 6 a.m. this morning. The roads are now clear, but earlier was flooded with police cars and emergency services that impacted traffic in the area. I reached out to the Norman Police Department, where they told me they responded to the crash and the individual was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The circumstances leading up to the incident has not yet been made available, and they had no further commentary. Kevin, Kariana.
Thanks, Gracie. The Norman Police Department says the investigation is still ongoing, according to News 9.
And internationally, a key ceasefire deadline just passed. Jack Hancock has that and the rest of today's national and international headlines from the News Center.
Breaking news just moments ago, a 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon went into effect. Earlier today, President Donald Trump announced the deal via Truth Social. Israel has troops occupying parts of southern Lebanon, which Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says will not leave. Hezbollah says this gives Lebanon the right to resist. Civilian parts of Ukraine were struck today by a massive drone and missile attack from Russia. Ukrainian officials say more than 650 drones and dozens of missiles were launched, killing at least 16 people and injuring over 100 more. Ukrainian state emergency services say these strikes started fires and caused significant damage across multiple major cities. A jury announces Live Nation and Ticketmaster operated as a monopoly and overcharged customers. 39 attorneys general and the Justice Department sued the companies, saying they controlled virtually every aspect of the live music ecosystem. The Justice Department settled their case earlier during the trial. A judge will now hold a second case to determine what remedies are needed, including whether or not to follow the state's requests to break up the companies. And there's a warrant out for the arrest of an ICE agent charged with second-degree assault with a deadly weapon. He is accused of pointing a gun at the heads of 2 civilians and their cars. Kevin, Kiriana.
Thanks, Jack. In a couple days, Oklahomans will reflect 31 years removed from Oklahoma's darkest day.
Coming up, you'll hear from one investigator and what he learned from the case.
And what the city of Norman is doing to keep Oklahoma beautiful.
How you can make an impact next.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
No, no, no. Turn it down. Turn it off. Get a hand. Lose the bells and whistles. Drive without distractions.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Welcome back. Daycares across the state continue to suffer due to the recent subsidy losses taking place, and their plans for the future are unknown. OU Nightly reporter Jack Kirchhoff has the story.
LifeSpring Learning Center and other child care providers in Oklahoma were made aware that their funding would be dropped by $5 a child per day, which they had gained during the COVID-19 pandemic to help keep their doors open.
Numbers from operational costs from 2020 to now, and everything all around is up 19%. So it's, insurance alone is up 167% from what we paid in 2020.
Daycare services are worried that the lack of funding will affect the quality of care that they can provide to the kids.
We want to be able to keep the same amount of teachers. We're required a certain number of teachers per students. So if we can't afford to pay that many teachers, then we can't enroll that many kids.
The impact goes beyond the walls of the daycare, however, as families are forced to make difficult decisions and take financial risks along with the purpose and commitment for these community providers.
We're here for the community to provide a service to the community, and by taking those cuts away, that takes away our purpose, that takes away what we can offer.
The cuts have ultimately put everyone in a predicament that has been difficult to solve, as the subsidies were relied upon by these organizations to help make these kids feel at home. Reporting from Norman, Jack Kirchhoff, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Jack. Now, if you're feeling creative this weekend, then Norman is the place to be. Matthew Carson has that in today's Around Town. The Cultivate Art in Oklahoma Yards art exhibit remains open throughout the weekend. And Pinot's Palette is holding a variety of art classes this weekend, offering customers the chance to paint and sip some wine. The Moore Lindsay Historical House Museum celebrates its second annual Tartan Day with crafts and games at the museum. And head on down to Eastwood Park this Saturday to help the city of Norman keep our parks clean. The event brings city staff and volunteers together to remove trash and debris from the park's water and river banks, as well as removing some invasive plants. The event takes place from 9 to 11 a.m. And on Friday night, Paige Fish performs at our very own South Oval at 5:30 p.m. Start your Saturday morning off right at Yellow Dog Coffee, where Doak Hensley will be performing from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Sunday is full with Rigby Summer at Legally Brewed from 4 to 8 p.m. and the Stillhouse Junkies at the Depot from 7 to 9 p.m. And you can end this weekend by swinging down to the deli to catch Hosty performing from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And for more information about these events, please visit Norman.com.
And after the break, I'm going to let you know the latest on tomorrow's severe weather threat. Be sure to stay with us.
Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource, and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, if your shower can fill a 1-gallon bucket in less than 20 seconds, replace the shower head with a water-efficient one. They are cheap, easy to install, and can save you up to 750 gallons a month. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Welcome back to OU Nightly. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. It has been a warm and sunny day across Norman. Right now, temperatures are sitting at 85 degrees. We have a lot of southerly flow working its way in. That's going to bring in a lot of moisture as we head into the day on Friday, and that unfortunately is going to set us up for another round of strong to potentially severe weather. So as I mentioned, we are under that slight risk for the day tomorrow, so we have all hazards on the table. Tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and even some localized flooding with the strongest storms that do develop. So I'll dive into each of these risks heading into this forecast. So heading into the day tomorrow, we do have that threat for tornadoes It is a relatively low threat, but definitely not zero, and we could see some tornadoes, especially early in this event before the cold front works its way through, so it's imperative to stay weather aware for the day tomorrow. Although tomorrow is going to be primarily a large hail and damaging wind threat, so as you can see here, we have a large swath of the Sooner State under that large hail risk. Could see up to the size of tennis balls with the strongest storms that do develop, and with the damaging winds, we could see winds in excess of 60 to 70 miles, so anywhere from Oklahoma City down to Norman, down to Ardmore, up to Tulsa and Miami could get in on a lot of the stormy weather heading into the day on Friday and into Friday overnight. I'll go ahead and time this out for you. So today we are sitting pretty in those lower 70s, very spring-like out there. We do have a cold front that is going to be working its way in from the northwest tomorrow. Before that, we will see some cloud cover begin to enter from the south and an accompanying dry line. So if we see some storms develop from this dry line by 4 p.m. tomorrow, that is going to be the greatest potential for seeing some of those tornadoes spin up ahead of the cold front. And this is going to work its way from west to east as it does by 10, 11 o'clock midnight. It's going to be right here on Norman's doorstep. So we will be seeing that cold front and that potential for some strong and even severe weather. Behind it, we're going to be seeing some clear and sunny conditions for your weekend, beautiful conditions for the spring game, and as well as your parents' weekend, and even some cooler temperatures as we head into Sunday morning under a ridge of high pressure. So how much rainfall are we going to see? Well, model guidance right now is not suggesting a whole lot, but as we head into the day tomorrow, we could see some enhancements to this. So definitely not everybody is going to be seeing that measurable rainfall, but if you do, make sure that you are staying weather aware because it could certainly pack a punch. If we do not see the rainfall, however, we might not see any help with our allergies out there. So trees and mold today are very high out there, so ensure that you are taking all precautions out there if you need to. But if we do see the rain as well, we could also see some relief from our current drought monitor, which updates every Thursday, and this data is imported every Tuesday. So heading into the next 7 days, we do have that threat for severe weather tomorrow, and then a return to some seasonable and sunny conditions for your weekend and beyond.
Thanks, Hunter. So the way you're kind of saying it, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Or
Absolutely.
I guess it's more of an overpass as we're going from light,
yes,
one day of darkness, and then back to the light. But that's great that it's going to be, nice this weekend. It's Parents' Weekend. You have the spring game. Those are things people care about. Like, there's going to be a lot of people here.
It's going to be great to get out there and enjoy it, not have to worry about the weather, not have to worry about the multiple threats of severe weather that we've seen this week.
Yeah, how would you recommend dressing for the game for the parents and people who want to head out there?
T-shirt, shorts, I mean, it's going to be beautiful. I mean, you cannot ask for better weather for this.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Hunter. Now, Sunday marks the 31st anniversary of the largest domestic terrorist attack in United States history. The Oklahoma City bombing remains a tragic chapter in our nation and state's history, but beyond the devastation, it's remembered for the resilience of those who responded. One of the 2 FBI bomb technicians who helped work the scene reflects this on the spirit of the city in the hours and days after the tragedy.
But the community came together in ways that was really unprecedented. That's what they call the Oklahoma Standard now. But it was just the magnitude, the scale and scope of the devastation was nothing that I had seen before and really hadn't been seen in this country before.
Now, tomorrow we'll have a bigger breakdown of our conversation with Barry Black, and you can also go to OU Nightly's YouTube to watch the full interview.
And coming up, see how one OU team was poked and prodded in OKC.
While another OU squad is gearing up to face each other right here in Norman.
And one group is in a comfortable spot, chalking up to take on the biggest stage of the season. Will they get stampeded by some cattle down in Fort Worth, or will they move on for a chance at another national championship? I'll have that and more next in sports.
Winter is upon us, and every Oklahoman knows that means unpredictable freezing temperatures. One of the main concerns with freezing temperatures is the damage they can cause to your home or business should they cause your water pipes to freeze over. Older homes, especially those without proper insulation or that have basements or crawl spaces with exposed pipes, are particularly susceptible to this. Here is Rachel Croft, City of Norman Water Treatment Plant Manager, to show you the proper steps you can take to prevent your pipes from freezing.
The good news is you don't need to run a whole lot of water in order to combat freezing from your pipes. Here's how you do it. Another thing that you can do to help is to open your cabinet doors to make sure that warm air throughout your home is getting to your faucet pipes. But you want to make sure to remove any harmful chemicals that any small children or pets could have the ability to reach.
Following these steps can help save money on your water bill and help to conserve Norman's water supply.
You need some help?
Your tow chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hello, I'm Natalie Orozco, and it's time for sports. Devon Park really creates sparks from hosting championship series to Bedlam showdowns. OU Nightly reporter Ethan Vegas was there to tell us more.
Sooners Cowgirls in Oklahoma City for the 224th Bedlam meeting. Kendall Wells heats up the Sooner Bats with this one, lasered out to right field, puts OU up 2-1 in the third inning against the Cowgirls. In the sixth inning now, Abby Dayton belts one out to left field. Macy Graff misses the catch here. Agbayani scores from second. Parker scores from first. Dayton into second, standing up 4-5 Cowgirls. Top of the seventh now, down 2. Sooners need a miracle. No can do. Cowgirls take this one 6-4 in Oklahoma City. 347 days. This is the last time OU lost back-to-back games. OU struggled to find consistency on offense. Standing in the way of the Sooner Bats was Cowgirls ace Bruce Malin, who struck out 9. However, some light amidst the darkness. Kendall Wells blasts her 32nd homer of the season to right field. Patty Gasso says there's still room for improvement going forward.
And sometimes I think we just get numb to it and we just go through the motions, and sometimes we can get through games going through the motion. We just learned we can't do that. We cannot do that.
We need to compete a little bit earlier in the game. I mean, I could say not just our team, but like me specifically, but I feel like just always being able to go out there and put my best. I know our team does that too, but we need to make sure we start earlier in the game.
Reporting from Devon Park, I'm Ethan Vegas, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Ethan. And Oklahoma football is finally gearing up this weekend for its spring game, where football fans get the chance to see what the Sooners have been cooking up this offseason. OU finished last season ranked 112 in rushing offense and looked to turn things around with their attitude.
So, I'm coming in here every single practice like, man, I want to have so much joy in me that every single person here can see it. And I know that me having that joy is going to translate to, like, every single one of my linemen, and all of us are just going to be like, man, we're here to have fun. At the same time, like, we're here to dominate,
And OU Women's Gymnastics is trying to reach the bar they set last year, winning the national title, returning to the NCAA Championship semifinals tonight in Fort Worth, in hopes to win their 8th national title, competing against UCLA, Arkansas, and Minnesota. And tomorrow, OU men's gymnastics slips into the NCAA Championship qualifier session. The last time OU won the national title was back in 2018 and placed 3rd last year. Now the MPSF champs enter the tournament as the #1 seed.
I think it's awesome to be #1, but like really just having all that hard work really show and represent #1, I think that's been the most satisfying thing, and it's been awesome to see, all these guys, young and old, be able to have that.
And after OU women's tennis clinched their first SEC regular season title, they now host the SEC tournament as the #1 seed into the quarterfinals starting tomorrow, and will play the winner of the Tennessee and LSU matchup. Kevin, Cariana.
Thanks, Natalie. A horse center in North Texas became one man's newfound passion for helping others.
The story of how he found his purpose after the break.
Did Did you know that items like paint, cleaning solutions, pesticides, solvents, and other chemicals are considered household hazardous waste? These chemicals are dangerous to our environment and water quality when they are dumped in our storm drains or gutters. Fortunately, the City of Norman has a dedicated household hazardous waste facility where you can properly dispose of these items. Call 405-366-5463 to make an appointment. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Did you know that trash, like plastic bottles and fast food wrappers, can carry germs and bacteria? When these items are tossed in the street, they eventually find their way to a river or lake and have a negative impact on aquatic life. Keep our waters clean by putting your trash in the bin. For more information, visit bit.ly/Norman Stormwater. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here is a water conservation tip you can try. In the bathroom, turn off the water while you brush your teeth. You'll save about 4 gallons per minute. That comes out to about 200 gallons a week for a family of 4. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman. Water is our most precious resource and something that should be conserved and used wisely. Here are some water conservation tips you can try. In the kitchen, collect the excess water you use to rinse produce and use it to water houseplants. Also, soak your pots and pans instead of letting the water run while you scrape them. Water is life. This message was brought to you by the City of Norman.
Good afternoon, I'm Lauren Jackson here at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Today, Senator Adam Pugh won the challenge against his candidacy for state superintendent. Representative Tony Haynesbeck challenged the candidacy and intends to ask the Oklahoma Supreme Court to review his candidacy. The Elections Board chose to allow the candidacy to continue, indicates that Pugh met all the requirements. Cariana, Kevin, back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Lauren. Now, Hunter, you talked about that severe weather risk tomorrow, and all risks on the table. What should people be looking out for there?
Absolutely. So I would say in the next 36 hours, we will have that all clear. But until then, you want to keep in mind large hail, damaging winds are going to be the primary threats. Can't rule out an isolated tornado or two, so ensure that you are following all severe weather safety precautions at this time. But once we get through that, we're going to be seeing a lot of sunshine, a return to some spring-like temperatures, and also a lot of sunshine as we head into next week.
Awesome. Thank you, Hunter. Now we're going to turn to an inspiring story of how one man found his purpose again after suffering a stroke. 57-year-old George Menendez suffered a massive stroke 5 years ago and was paralyzed by complacency, all until he met 14-year-old Fino, a child that had suffered a traumatic brain injury while he was volunteering at the Therapeutic Core Center in McKinney, Texas.
Now, he says he couldn't before get up off the couch, but now he pretty much has every session by Fino's side, saying that he found his passion by helping people again and by helping Fino. Now, he also was a retired police officer for the New York Police Department and one of the 9/11 first responders. He said he found his passion again, helping others by helping Fino.
That is truly an awesome story, and thank you so much for watching OU Nightly. I'm Kevin Daniel.
And I'm Cariana Gamboa. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.